Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be explaining to you what I'm going to be doing for One Book July 2020. So to explain what I'm doing for One Book July, I'm going to take out some notes that I made about the challenge. It was created by a group of 3 people in the planner community, and then 1 additional person came on in the later years. They've been doing this challenge every July from 2014 until now. Now, the original challenge was 1 book July, 1 book, 1 pen, 1 month. In subsequent years, they have changed the challenge a little bit to give it a bit of a twist. So, going through all of the years, 2020's challenge is pick and mix. And pick and mix means you get to pick a challenge that was done in one of the previous years and do that instead. So for me, I decided to go with the 2016 challenge. 1 book, 1 project, 1 month. I'm going to call it 1 Project July. Now, I'm going to admit, I haven't watched any of the videos from 2016 about the 1 Book July challenge for that year. So I'm not sure if what I'm doing is exactly the same as what they were doing in 2016. But it is going to be 1 project. And it's a project I already started working on before July. But I figured that now is a good time for me to actually get down and to do it. And I'll explain what I mean later. As for the other challenges, I just felt like this one kind of spoke to me the most. Because when I first started planning on paper, I started with a bullet journal. So I was already doing 2019's challenge. When I started doing the bullet journal, I did 1 book, 1 pen. And I didn't last for 1 month. I did about 2 weeks of it. For 2018's challenge, Let's Get Digital, I already incorporate some digital planning still. Because before I did the bullet journal, I did digital planning. And some of that I still do. Then there's Go Big or Go Home. Now I'm not 100% sure what that means. But that just kind of left 1 project. And I have a project that I want to do. So that's what I'm doing. There are no rules here. So you can, even if you're doing the 1 Book July challenge, and you maybe need 1 pen and 1 highlighter, you're free to do that. You can kind of personalize it to what you feel like is best for you. And for me, I'm doing 1 project, and it's going to be a creative project. So it's not going to be planning. It's more on the journaling side, but there is some planning aspects involved to it. Let me switch now to another note that I made on the same topic, 1 Book July. So here earlier in June, I was watching the video from RHOMANY'S where she explained the challenge for this year's 1 Book July, pick and mix. I wrote down all the timestamps and I wrote down what each of the 4 creators were doing for 1 Book July. So you can read those, and I'll link to their videos as well to explain what they're doing in more detail. But then I also watched and made notes on what RHOMANY was doing. And she's doing some creative projects, one of which is a sketchbook and the other one is Junk Journal July. Then we get to this point in the video where she talks about her Animal Crossing journal, which is part of her creative project. I got all excited at this point because my project that I wanted to do for 1 Book July, even before I watched this video, is to create an Animal Crossing journal. So Animal Crossing is a game. They recently released a version of that game on the Nintendo Switch, and that's what I've been playing since about the time it was released until now. It's really been fun. It's been an escape for me, a distraction for me, so I really enjoy it. But of course, if you haven't played the game, if you don't know much about the game, then the rest of this video and maybe the rest of this project may not be for you. If you do play Animal Crossing, then I hope that this video will be interesting for you. So right now, I have an Animal Crossing journal, and it's in its own leather folio. And yes, I know this is very extra, but I have extra folios anyway. So this is the STRIDERIDGE leather cover in B6 size. And it is a folio. I have got 2 notebooks in here relating to Animal Crossing. And I'll show you what's inside, what I've been doing now, and then how I want to change it up, what I want to do for the project. So the first thing I wanted to do when it came to an Animal Crossing journal is to document what happened during the game and to kind of document the things I have to do in the game. So I started off with this MUJI planner in the B6 size. I got this last year And I wanted to set it up as a gratitude journal, but I ended up using a different notebook. So this was sitting here unused, and I thought, well, this is great. If I want to start journaling about my Animal Crossing game, why not start here? So what we have here is a blank page, but you have the week on this side, and then on the right side you have a grid page. So this is the first week that I started. What I did on the left side is I wrote down things that happened during the day. And on the right side, I wrote down the tasks that I need to do for the day and for the week. So what kind of things do I put here? I put down things like interesting things that happened during the day. Like what special character visited the island. Like on this day, which is Wednesday, Kix visited. The pansies have now sprouted because I was trying to breed all of these flowers. Other things, I went on a mystery island tour and I caught all of these tarantulas because I was trying to make as much bells as possible or money as possible. And I got all of these tarantulas so I could sell them and make tons of money. That kind of thing. And on this side, we have the daily tasks, which is more like a habit tracker kind of layout where I write down things that I thought I needed to do every single day in the game and then cross off when I did them. Then there's weekly tasks, which are more tasks that I need to do, but kind of take longer than a day. So things that I wanted to do at whatever day it was, but I wanted to accomplish for that week. And then on the bottom here, I kind of documented things that I wanted to track, more things, like my Happy Home Academy score. So I wrote down what was my score for this week and what was my score for the previous week. So you can see that it went up, which is good. So every day I was doing this. Now I started adding turnip prices, and I wrote down whenever I made a profit or when I had a loss. And I wrote down more little kind of notes or lists on this side. And you can see now I'm starting to write a lot more. It's starting to get a lot more cluttered and a lot more busy. And I already knew at this point, I didn't like how this looked. If this is meant to be a journal, I should be able to enjoy flipping through it and reading it. But I didn't really have maybe the motivation or the time at this point to do anything more than this. And in any case, this notebook wasn't being used. I do kind of want to add stuff like photos and more decorative things, and I wanted more space. So you can see all of these pages are pretty much the same. And on this week, I did change the pen up a little bit. You can see the pen width is a little bit thinner than this one. And I thought maybe that would make it look less busy, but it didn't. It's still very busy. So now we get to July, which is today is July 7th, where I'm filming. Next we get to this second notebook in here. Now, because this is just a regular planner, they do have some note pages in the back, but it's about 11 pages. So it's not even one per month or something. Or 11 two-page spreads, so around 22. So I just thought that maybe there wasn't enough space for me to write notes, so I made my own little notebook. So this notebook here is by Apica, and it originally was a B5 size notebook, a lined notebook, and I had it cut down to B6. I cut it myself, and that's why it's upside down, because I like the way it looked upside down better than the other way around. So this is just an Animal Crossing notebook. It's very rough, and it is functional enough, but it's very rough. This is a place where I put all my rough notes and plans for the game. Lots of lists. So I'll flip through this really quickly. We have my notes when I was trying to redesign my island. I wrote down a list of all of the kind of resources on the island that you could sell and how much they sold for. I was trying to figure out the item of the day. Is it worth making the item of the day and selling it? And the answer is yes, because there's a 400% markup. This is some kind of rewards list. I was trying to figure out, do I want to do color coding, which I never implemented. Duplicate DIY list, which I thought was too cumbersome to do on paper, so I typed it up. More lists of fossils, lucky bonus items, more lists of bug models, my wish list of DIYs, which is not complete because I ended up typing this as well. And then so on. More lists. Lists. Okay, at this point, I had not had a Nintendo Switch Online account, which means I couldn't connect to the internet when I was playing the game. But once I got that subscription, I was able to have people visit my island and I could visit other people's islands. So I did tape it up because for privacy reasons, but I wrote down the people's islands that I visited. Here we get to a page that I ended up not even using. I just crossed it all up. And all of these pages are really rough, but they're all to do with breeding flowers, because somehow breeding flowers on Animal Crossing is rather complicated. And I probably made too many notes that I didn't need to make. Okay, at this point, I had to create alternate accounts. So other people on my island, but it was actually me playing them, just so I could get more storage. This is a list of features that I wish were added to the game. So Nintendo, if you're watching this, I would love it if you added any of these stuff to the game. More stuff on the additional accounts. I had to write entire notes on how I was going to design where I was going to put the flowers on my island. You can see, it is fun to do this, but it's still a lot of work. Here are my notes on villager personalities. Same with the summer DIY, the shell DIYs. So here I was listing all of the different shells. If you look at the key here, all of the different shells I needed to collect. On this page, I went on a villager hunt to find a nice villager. So I wrote down every single person that I went to the Mystery Island tour and who I saw. And I decided against all of these people. More trades, which I will privated out. Then this is METEONOOK. Now METEONOOK is a website where you can kind of enter in the weather on your island so that you can predict the weather in the future. And that actually worked. I did enter all of these and I used all of the data in here, or some of the data in here from these. So this ended up being very useful. But I will. So we have the bug off event, all of the rewards from the bug off event, more trade pages, and that's it. So that brings me to my project. What I want to do is I want to combine all of these notebooks into one. I want to take the information that I wrote down on this side, my journal part. I want to make it more creative. I want to add some photos. I want to add markers or colors or headers, whatever it is, and make it more fun to read. So that brings me to my last note for this video, and that is what I plan to do. This is my Animal Crossing journal. What do I want in my journal? Now, one of the things I've been doing this year is to create my own inserts for a binder, whether it's A6 or A5, whatever size may be. And I want to do it now here too. I've seen people already in the planner community create their own inserts for Animal Crossing, including some of those trackers that you've seen me write by hand every week. But I wanted to do this all for myself. I enjoy doing that, so it's kind of fun for me to do that. That's where the reference section is. So my Animal Crossing journal is kind of, I'm looking at it as kind of hybrid between a planner and a creative journal. So the planner part is the reference, the tasks, the to-do lists, and so on, which is in the reference section, sort of. So the section 1 is reference, and I want to create inserts for all of this information. Now all of this information here you can read through if you like, but okay, section 2 is the journal part. So where section 1 is, it's pretty much all of the information that I had in this notebook. Section 2 is what I hope to have all of the information from this side of this journal. What I'm going to have to do throughout July, and hopefully I can update you in July, is what I want to do here. So this is the stuff that I plan to do. I want to figure out what is the size of this new Animal Crossing journal. I've already decided this one. I think it's going to be A5. Because while B6 is pretty nice, if I add photos, I probably want a bigger size. Do I want to continue using my MUJI planner and my notebook, which I just showed you? Yes, the answer is for now, I want to continue using it. I have to determine what is my workflow for transferring and printing and cutting out photos. What is my budget? So when I'm doing this project, do I just want to stick to using all of the stuff that I already have, or do I want to buy new stuff? So that's what I'm planning to do for my One Book July challenge. It's going to be a One Project July challenge. It's going to be an Animal Crossing journal, and hopefully I will at least get started in July and give you an update or two about how it's coming together, and then even a flip through if I get to it. If you're still here and you're still watching, thank you very much. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.